But today she's going to talk to us about tapping. And some of us have no experience with it and don't know much about it. So can you just tell us?
Yes.
Like we don't know?
Yes. So I'm going to, first of all, turn my phone off. I'm live streaming on a Facebook tapping page, but it's only on me, not on you. Alan's filming. I am blatantly marketing for the June 3rd event. And my heart is really happy to be able to share the experience of EFT with you. So real quick, I'll give you a little history. It came through Gary Craig, who you can look up his website online, is fabulous. In 1990, EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, also electronic funds transfer, just so you know. And I had a gym when I first got into it, and I would put it on the sign, and people would just assume electronic funds transfer. But it's called Emotional Freedom Technique. It's based on tapping with your fingerprints on endpoints and major meridians in the body, like energy freeways. So, you know, what I like to say is think of our big freeways. If there's an accident and it gets gridlocked, or there's too much traffic and it's slow, think of that in the body. So while you're touching these end spots or tapping on them and focus through wording, which is really interesting because I'm going to give you an example of how you can use this on your own and benefit, it frees up any stuck energy. The founder, Gary Craig, always says, you know, these bodies are designed to heal. That means mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. And yet what gets in the way? He says it's a zzz, and that's exactly how he says it, in the energy system. So it's a profound way to get rid of the victim consciousness, the way we get stuck in a pattern, a looping pattern of resentment or anger or frustration or servitude or anything, so you have a little bit of space to learn something new and make a different choice. That, I think, is the true power of it. You can look up Gary's site. He has free training videos. He gave it to the world when he discovered it. He put it on, that was back in the day of DVDs, and he sent it to a bunch of psychologists and said, try this and let me know the results. And it spread all over the world. And then what psychologists started realizing was they're tapping not for themselves because they're guiding clients through it, but their income increases, their relationships get better, their health gets better, and they're like, how is that happening? I'm not even tapping on me because I do it at work. So then he came up with the term borrowing, like you borrow something, benefits. The difference is you don't have to return anything. You can borrow it and keep it. So I'm going to give you some examples of that today so that you could at any time turn on YouTube and tap and get some relief. You're not going to have all the wording as comfortably as I do. I've been doing this a long time. You might. That would be great. But the point is you don't want to stress over the words. Just use somebody who's already on video or audio, or there's books with scripts in it. It's really incredible. It can free you up so you can make different choices for yourself. So for me personally, it came to me in 2006, I think. And, you know, I wanted to evolve and grow and be happier and be more loving and kind, and just couldn't get there. It was almost like I had too much pain inside to add in any new way of being. So with tapping, it created a lot of space, and it just really changed it. It's fabulous on physical. If you have a very old injury, of course, it takes longer. If you just fell and got swollen, you can watch the swelling come down in minutes. It's just mind-blowing. They have used it under traditional research protocol with veterans coming back from war. So your Vietnam veterans, not such a quick fix because they've added to that PTSD day after day after day. They work with young veterans coming right back, and the results are mind-blowingly fast. So it's a really cool thing. And again, there's tons of books, there's tons of great tappers out there, YouTube, you could just find anything, right? So I would like today, my goal today is to give you an experience of it and set you up so you can move forward with it. So an easy thing to do in a group, I'm going to just give you a little bit of a physical example. I would invite everybody, let me see, I'm going to turn this on. I would invite everybody to take like 3 breaths. Your purpose is to really feel, be aware of that third breath. 2 are you just kind of warming up. That third breath, how good does it feel? What does your body feel like? How relaxed are you? So take 3 breaths. On that third breath, really think about what it felt like. And now I'm going to give you a scale. 10 would be, just can't take a deep breath comfortably. 0 would be, I breathe like I do yoga or yodeling, or I'm a swimmer. It just feels natural and good to me to breathe deeply and comfortably. So somewhere in that scale, just kind of guess at a number. Nobody's going to know, just you. It's just for you to have a marker. Okay? All right, now forget all about your breath. This is the awesome thing with EFT. So if you are doing a YouTube, pick whatever's bugging you, whatever negative emotion you're experiencing and the thought pattern or the person or the situation behind it. Think about it, scale it, 0 to 10, then forget about your stuff and just tap with anybody, right? And then when they end, come back to your memory and play it. And I'll walk you through this again so that when you leave here, you'll be all set up. If this protocol resonates with you, you'll be set to make a lot of progress very quickly. Sound good? All right, so now you're going to mimic me and say what I say, and then we're going to go back and do the breath. But while you're mimicking me, don't think about your breath. Just have fun. Let me drive, okay? So I'm going to show you how loosey-goosey this really is. So we're going to start here, and some people do this. And do this way, and we're going to say, even though I used to breathe deeper, and easier, and more comfortably, and even though I practice meditation, presence, breath, I wish it was easier. And then top of the head, if you think about where your ears are, you're coming to the center of the head, roughly. It's hard to breathe. Comfortably. With Houston traffic. It's hard to breathe. Comfortably. With annoying people all around. It's hard to breathe. Comfortably. When people wear too much perfume. Cologne. Use cleaners. Now for the eyes, you want to think about like at Halloween, you see a skull. We're going to stay on the bony ridge around the eyes. So the first part is right where your eyebrow begins. There's a bone. You can use one hand, you can use 2, you can cross over. You cannot get it wrong. That's going to be the first spot. This breathing thing. Breath is so important. Breath. I remember. Unconsciously remember. All the times I could not breathe. Because I was shocked, insulted, betrayed, offended, embarrassed, mortified, tricked. All the times I froze and couldn't get a breath. And then the side of the eye is not on your temple. So especially if you're wearing glasses, it's right here. You can feel the bone. You just kind of want to wiggle so you're on the bone, right? This breath thing. I want it to be spiritual. I'd love to breathe in gratitude. And exhale gratitude. And under the eye, again, you're going for the bone. Nice gentle tap. I'd love to breathe in love. And breathe out love. Wouldn't it be nice if this silly tapping increased my capacity to be the love, the peace, the gratitude I really am? And then under the nose, that one's pretty easy. This breath thing.
this breath thing,
This breath thing.
this breath thing,
All the times.
all the time.
I spoke so quickly,
I spoke so quickly,
I couldn't catch a breath.
I couldn't get a breath.
The chin is right under the lip at this little dip in. All the times.
All the time.
Other people spoke so rapidly.
Spoke so rapidly.
I couldn't get
I couldn't
a word or a breath in.
get a breath in.
And then the collarbone area, I try not to tap the mic, not always successful. So you have your collarbone, it's right below it. These are called your canine spots. Wait, is that right? K something, forgot now. So I like to do a little figure 8 here, or when I started, I would put my top knuckle on my collarbone, the bottom 3 are in the right place. That was real soothing to me. All the times breath.
All the time's breath.
Didn't calm me.
Didn't calm me.
Hyperventilating.
Hyperventilating.
Unable to relax myself.
To relax myself.
Forgive myself.
Forgive myself.
Guide myself.
Guide myself.
Allow myself
Allow myself.
the peace that I'm seeking.
The peace that I'm seeking.
And then high up on the rib cage as you can go, this is liver spleen spot. Breathing.
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 Not breathing.
Not breathing.
Not breathing.
Not breathing.
I want to breathe
I want to breathe
in rhythm
in rhythm
with all the good
with all the good
that exists.
that exists.
I've been busy
I've been busy
breathing
breathing
with all the anger. Under the arms, for us girls, it's right in the bra strap there. Breath. I'm ready for more breath. No, I'm not. Yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
I'm not sure about this breath thing or this tapping thing. Okay, and then there's the wrists. So when you turn your palms together and you angle, now you're hitting both fronts of the wrists together, right? I would like to feel a tangible experience of the expansion of good within me through breath. Because I have to breathe to keep experiencing anything, everything. And then now bring the backs of your wrists together, right? That's 2 spots. That would be amazing. To breathe in my soul self, my higher self, and exhale the love I have, or the love I'm working on, of this life experience. Okay, so now we're going to just do 3 breaths again and just see if you notice anything different on that 3rd breath. Anybody want to share? Yes.
I feel much more open, no constriction at all, where before I was probably like a 6.
Isn't that
It
amazing?
is amazing.
Anybody else? Yes.
Well, I found myself smiling the second time around, and the first time I was like,
I love your awareness of being aware, right? Yes.
I was amazed with this freshness, this new freshness of breath. The second time around from the first one, it was just different.
Right?
I felt joy and funny and comical and just joy. Totally joy. That's awesome.
I love that. My husband bought me a t-shirt for Mother's Day, and on it says, "Choose happy." And I'm like, where'd you find this? This is so me, right? I love it. All right, so you see how the tapping, I'm using like really big words, random words, I'm stopping, telling you where, and yet you still had some kind of experience, right? And if you didn't, that's okay. You might yet. And if, let's say it doesn't resonate with you, no big deal. At least when you leave class today, you're going to know it's not your thing, right? And then you won't waste any time on it. So that's always a win too. Okay, so now I'm going to take you through another barring benefits. So everybody just relax for a second, and here's the instructions. Please think of a person, not your mother, not your spouse. Not somebody who you have an ongoing, complicated relationship with. Remember, this is a short class. We're doing a demo. Don't pick something that's going to snowball out, right? So just pick, it could be an old neighbor, an old teacher, a friend you haven't seen in forever. The goal is to pick a person that represents, when you think of this memory, this relationship, whether it was business or friendship or whatever it was, you don't feel good. You're not in the love that you would prefer. Does that make sense? So I want you to think of this in like a little 30-minute movie clip, like a commercial. I want you to picture them like, where were you in that last conversation, or where's your memory take you? Just run it, I'm only going to give you like 30 seconds a minute. Just run through it and pay attention. What do you feel in the body? Do you get that nasty emotional hairball right there? Do you get it tight in your gut? Do you just want to withdraw? Does your heart hurt? Do you just think cussing thoughts? Doesn't matter.
Just for clarity, is this person someone that we really like being around, or some person that irritates us?
You want to go, well, it could be somebody you love being around, but you have a memory with them that doesn't feel good. But tapping is for clearing, generally, even though it's quite evolved. I use it for positive all the time. But for this example, I want to lead you through clearing. So somebody who irritates you. Okay. Could be, think of politics. That's always easy. Right? Think of somebody who's adamant and will not hear your side. That'll get you going. Easy one.
It can't be a spouse.
No, ma'am. Not for a quick demo. You don't want your mom or a spouse, because for a quick demo, it's going to open up more and more and more. Now, yesterday we did tap. It was really amazing. We were in the bookstore with the women's group, and we did a home run on a really, it was a mom, but we had been together for an hour and a half and had built the energy, so we were able to pop that really quick. But you guys, this is learning mode, okay? I want to set you up so you know if this is a gift for you, and you can just go out there and use it as much as you want it, okay? So ready? Everybody get irritated right now. Now really play the memory. And check your body, what's going on? Yeah, there you go. Where do you feel it? Being aware of the discomfort, the negativity, the lack of love. Do you feel sadness? Do you feel anger? Do you feel tightness? Do you feel constricted again, like we just ruined the breath? Does your face smush? Your brow wrinkle? Now again, 0 to 10. 10 means you want to cuss, hit, or cry. 0 means, nope, I'm all zen. No irritation in my life. So think of your number. Think of your number one more time. It's just for you. Nobody's going to know. Now come back to me. Okay, now this part seems tricky at first. Now forget your stuff. Forget about that person. You don't have to hold it. You don't have to multitask in this. Now if you're doing this with YouTube or audios or videos or a book, you might just write like a title of it and then write a number. And then put it aside and just let whoever written or audio or visual lead you, right? You don't have to stay engaged with it. That's too much work. Okay, are you ready? Yeah. All right, so now you're going to mimic me again. Here we go. Okay. Even though I am the most irritating person, I know. It's true. Sometimes I cannot forgive myself. When I feel like I wasn't kind enough. gentle enough. I didn't listen well. I was not compassionate enough. And then I really suffer. Why can't I be the loving light, the generous heart I desire to be? Or what about when I'm stupid? Forget where I'm going. Forget where I've put things. Completely forget something I used to know. All the ways being human is irritating. Being human is devastating. So much sadness and suffering within me, within those I observe, in the world. It's heartbreaking. Today, Mother's Day, and all the people grieving or estranged, all the people angry and unforgiving, and all mother energy that slips into exhausting servitude instead of joyous service. And I have been rude, and I have been kind, and I have been generous, and I have been stingy. I have forgiven, and I know how to hold a grudge. I have been the experience of unresolved resentment more times than is pleasant. I have thought vengeful thoughts and enjoyed revenge movies. So even when I behave and don't act on my thoughts, I still know the feeling place. So wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be weird? And what would it mean if this ridiculous tapping had me feel differently, more whole, more loving, more at ease, more aligned to the Christ consciousness I am seeking? Would it mean I'm a tapper? Would it mean I have to go do more? I'm not sure what it would mean. So wouldn't it be nice? I can just relax and be okay with my humanness. And no, there's nothing I have to decide or go do unless I feel like it. And that's the whole point. I feel like on this rainy Sunday, I'd like to experience alignment with Jesus the Christ, the energy, the ideal of inner peace. I would love some inner peace. Because what I found in fleeting moments, that with inner peace comes great joy. And happiness is what I am seeking. Okay, big breath. Now, please replay your memory of the irritating person or situation in the exact same way and see what's different for you.
That's amazing.
All right, so just check. Now, one, two, or three things happen, right? One, nothing changed. That's okay, just means we'll go a little deeper. Sometimes it feels like nothing changes until you go home and sleep tonight, and tomorrow morning replay your memory and see what's different. That's like a computer rebooting after you upgrade a whatever, my computer language. After you do that thing and shut it down. Third thing is, it feels different. It feels less annoying or more annoying. Did anybody have more annoying? Nope. Did anybody stay the same? Yep. Okay. Everybody take a breath. You ready? I can't feel better. It's going to work for everybody but me. It's going to work for everybody but me. Everybody's going to have a cool experience. Everybody's going to have a cool experience. And I'm going to be left out. Again. I cannot give up. This core belief that I have to suffer to do good. Just can't let it go. This belief that is hard earned. This belief that is inherited. That I am here to be in exhausting servitude. Even forgiveness is exhausting. Freedom is elusive. All the times I've felt left out. Other people get it. And I don't get it. Other people can have cool experiences. And I'm not quite there. And all the times I remember this from childhood. And all the people I witness stuck in suffering. And I can't help them. And that is more than I can bear. So even if tapping is not my thing, I open my mind. I open my heart to say to myself, thank you for showing up. Thank you for giving it a try. Thank you for never giving up. When a lot of times, giving up completely would have been easier. And I want to forgive all those people who got to give up and leave in whatever way they did. While I'm stuck here in the struggle, in the pain, when I'm so desperately seeking to know myself in generosity, in kindness, in openness. All the times I've misinterpreted my connection to others. All the times I've been disappointed in other people with their obnoxious beliefs, rude way of being, when the truth is, I've been stuck in disappointment of myself for all the times. I couldn't listen to other opinions and not withhold love, kindness. It doesn't mean I have to agree. It doesn't mean I have to invite them to dinner. It doesn't mean they have to change. The peace I am seeking is with me. Okay, big breath. Okay, so the people who didn't have a change, just check again. It's okay if it didn't. There's no pressure. And while they're checking, did anybody want to share or ask any questions or share anything?
I got to share, girl.
Okay, let me have it.
Share. First of all, it's good to see you again.
You too.
And, oh my God, the release. When I decided to let her go, when I decided that she is pathetic, when I decided she don't know no better. And so And this morning, because I used to do tapping and I kind of put it aside. But this morning, I did some work. I sent her love. I sent the other her love. And I sent the other her love. And I just went on my way. But you put the whipped cream, I'm serious, on what I needed. And what I needed. And so when I was withholding empathy for her and how I perceived her continuing to treat me, I decided to let her go. She just an idiot and she don't know she an idiot. And because she don't know she an idiot, I need to continue to nurture, continue to put the love inside of Joanne for Joanne. And I heard somebody say, yeah, Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Awesome. Anybody else? Questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
So when I'm tapping certain points, like some are like painful. Is that any indication or?
Well, these are real endpoints of major meridians.
Okay.
Like, these are the heavy hitters where if you were in acupuncture, they would use needles, and that can be really painful when you hit energy that's stuck.
Okay.
Some people don't feel acupuncture at all, but if you have stuck energy and you're a sensitive person to energy, whoo, right? So that's what you're experiencing. So what you could do if they're really sensitive is just touch and hold. You don't have to bang on it, right?
You said touch and hold.
Yeah, touch and hold.
But is that at the same time it's releasing it, right? I mean, that's,
But a touch and hold for somebody as sensitive as you, I mean, and yeah, it works.
okay.
It works. Like dogs love it when you tap on them. Yes, you can do EFT on animals. Cats, yeah, no, don't do that. So how would you do it for a cat or somebody else? Like here's one of my favorite things about EFT. If somebody calls you and they're in pain, and they're bitching and moaning and complaining, and it's okay, you heard it 400 times, and they're not going to take your advice, right? Or they're in too much pain to even give you a moment to speak. All you do is hold the phone, and don't tap loudly, because they can hear that. Touch gently while you listen. And two things happen. One, eventually their nervous system will shift, and they'll get off the phone and call you less often for shorter periods of time. And two, you won't be in that frustration, that exhaustive inadequacy of not being able to help. Because we build that up, because everybody here is heart-centered, or you wouldn't be here at Unity. And so we have suffered in victim consciousness over all the people we can't uplift and help.
Yeah.
Usually starts with our birth family. We come in as these little light beings and we're just gonna rock and roll it, and we can't make our birth family happy. And then we go to all the idiots who will not feel better and not come out of their victim consciousness, and it triggers us because we hold that vibration.
Wow.
And then you live in a culture where it's not the norm to practice gratitude and feeling good about yourself, so it just barfs out as more victim consciousness. And every time you're in the complaint, you're in the victim consciousness, you're in the exhausted servitude, you're in the why me, you're in the codependency unbalanced, your body hears you.
Yeah.
Every cell in your body is hearing you. And you're holding that. And then when we see somebody else being the idiot, being rude, being withholding, being stingy, being unconscious, we can only be triggered by it when that's unresolved in us.
Wow.
Okay, ready? Oh, yes.
Question. The first time you did the second one, or the first time you didn't do anything, the second time your language went deeper. How do you choose the language from the first round to the second round to the third round? Are there specific terms, or is it instinctual? How do you select the language?
I'm definitely channeling, because I've been tapping since 2006, 7, and you can go to any of the audios and they are all positive, they're all non-judgmental, they're all delightful. So when I started seeing transcripts of them or re-listening them, you're like, dang, I gotta learn this, And I suddenly realized, well, that cannot be me because I'm a human personality. I'm not that consistent. You will never hear a tap that's come through me that isn't saying the same thing always. Compassion for the human experience. Alan had just sent me questions from a channeling from 2016, and he reminded me, he goes, oh, they said that all the tapping helped them to understand how hard it is for us, hearing people's pain. So when I'm tapping, I just get personality out of the way and trust it. And it was so scary at first because, working with so like people who come to me for tapping, I don't let them tell me hardly any story. I'm not a therapist. I'm not, if you need talk therapy, I will tell you, go to a therapist. I send many people to therapy. But if you're coming for PTSD or something you're just stuck on, I don't have you tell me a lot. Just a little tiny bit, and then I just let it intuitively come. Scary as heck for the first few years, because I don't know if I'm on target. And then what if it stops? Well, since I don't know how to get it works, I wouldn't know how to turn it back on. It's like, right? So it's just this beautiful gift that I came in to be brave enough to.
I have another question. When you're tapping, you're just doing the meridians for the upper body, but when you do acupuncture, they do the whole body. Do you ever tap your legs? Do you ever do the lower?
I don't. I do this, and the truth is when I'm with people, I don't tap here. In my office, I lay you back in a recliner, and I might not even be tapping. I might be touching and holding. And now I'm at a point where I really don't even have to touch you. I can just hold the field and let them come through. But people are hungry to be touched.
Wow.
And so when you're tapping on yourself, you're actually working spiritually, emotionally, mentally, the words, and then you're anchoring it in your physical form by supporting the body. So if you look at the science, these spots, and I've never read about the legs in this part, it's changing the chemical reaction from the hippocampus by something you're doing. So the way we transform energy on this plane of existence is always the same, no matter what kind of energy. You have to be in the old energy and do something different. So can you imagine being irritated, being resentful, being frustrated, being angry, and then saying a bunch of positive, negative wording? That's being different in the energy, and it shifts it.
Can I ask one other question?
Absolutely, I love the questions. No, they're so good.
You said, and I let them come through. Who do you define as them?
Well, we've asked them, they gave me the name emissarians, and we've asked them, and what they say is they are you, your higher consciousness. So the words that resonate with you are from your soul self, not necessarily me. I can't even remember all the
You're not
words.
channeling your spirit guides, you're actually just channeling yourself?
Your. So depending on the group, different wording comes through. But it's all the same consistent, loving, kind, non-judgmental.
You mentioned if you're having a conversation with someone and it's a challenging conversation, just to start tapping.
Don't speak
Don't speak, just tap.
and tap.
Just tap.
If it's appropriate. I mean, if they're wanting you to speak, of course, don't do that.
But I mean, this is a phone conversation and you start tapping.
Yeah.
Do you find that when you need to speak, that you're freer and you are given the words that you need to say at that moment because of the tapping?
Yes, because you've gotten the human ick in the energy field. Come on, guys, it's a tough gig being human.
Yeah.
It is a weird setup. No human parents can give a human child everything that they need.
Amen. Amen.
Just can't. And then we just keep repeating this pattern of wanting to bring light and healing to ourselves and others and feeling incredibly inadequate at it. Or how many times have you spoken and people interpreted it wrong? I get misquoted all the time, by the way. And yet, what if none of that matters? And all that matters is that you could be peaceful enough so that the divine could speak through you. Yes. So the code for, people would call me and say, can you listen? Well, that's code for you sit your butt down and tap for me. And I'd be like, sure, go. Or the other code is, can you hold the bucket? And when somebody cryingly says, can you hold the bucket, that means they don't want me to speak, they don't want coaching, teaching, opinion, advice, nada. They just want to barf out their pain. Well, I can't do that without going into that exhausted servitude unless I'm tapping on myself or holding my heart, you know, doing something. What if you're at a meeting, business meeting, and the people are irritating? Please don't look at them and do this. That is just rude. But you could do this. You could do this. You know, once your body knows what you're doing. My kids were always well behaved, you know, around other people, of course. Not necessarily at home, but they were really well behaved in school. So teachers had a tendency to put the wiggly, not so comfortable kids next to them during testing. And it would be hard and distracting for my children. And I'd say, just hit any of the spots. Just touch them and hold and watch what happens. And then the other children would be calmer too.
Wow.
There's tapping in schools. It's great for anybody of service. I've tapped with hospice workers, military counselors, teachers. That's really fun. Those of us who are heart-centered, we hold so much victim consciousness within our bodies because we have a misperception that taking the pain in is going to help, or we're guilty that we didn't do more.
Wow.
It's a tough setup.
So this morning when I was talking to Stacy, that's my second daughter, and I'm thinking, pardon the expression, damn. And so today, if I had known that this morning, I could have been listening and taking care of me too.
That's the thing, it's double fold. It will bless whoever's on the phone with you, but it'll help us with that horrible victim consciousness of inadequacy.
Yes.
Right? I mean, if we could, we'd just go ping everybody with a magic wand and make them feel better. Or I'd buy you all t-shirts, choose happy, right? That would be it. Okay, so I am watching the clock, so I do want to say, again, blatantly marketing June 3rd. So June 3rd will be in the pyramid, and we're going to be tapping on one topic. It won't be this barring benefits, it won't be on, well, I don't really know what they'll come through with, but it's going to be on one topic of oneness. So can you imagine your physical form, your energetic form, your emotional body, and your mental body in a spiritual immersion of unconditional love. And then we'll be anchoring it in the form, taking breaks, coming back, doing it again, going into high altered states, and then again. So today I kept asking you questions, and I made you do some work. So I kept you really paying attention. But do you notice that the tapping makes you want to just drift out and go into an altered space? That's what the pyramid day will be like. So I'm expecting for people to experience quite a quantum leap in allowing themselves more quiet mind, more presence. Okay?
And Helen is doing that as a fundraiser for Unity. So that's very nice, but it's going to be a great experience. So I hope this was a touch, you know, just a little piece of it.
A little taste.
Yes, a taste of it that'll maybe make you want to sign up for that experience. It's from like what, 10 to 4? What is it?
10 to 4. There's going to be a lot of breaks. It's a spiritual experience, not a class or a workshop.
With a break for lunch, so don't worry.
A big long break at lunch. The point is that you can get into a very spiritual state surrounded by people with the same purpose and then go out in the world. Go to the bathroom, go walk in the courtyard, talk, come back in, do it again. Go to lunch in a restaurant, get in the traffic. We're going to make sure you're grounded before that. And then come back and do it again. I mean, how often do you get an opportunity to play in frequency like that? I mean, I might sometimes with the work I do if I'm doing a retreat or something, but just in a pyramid, I mean, sign me up, right? And I just want you to know if you do feel kind of goofy, which can happen with the tapping, chocolate helps. And besides, chocolate's just nice. And drink water. If you get headachy, it means you just need a little more water. Okay? All right. Phoebe, all yours.
All right, thanks, Helen.
You're welcome. What a joy.